Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. I hope you're enjoying your week. I know I am. Today's film here, and this is the latest of the films that didn't get wide release in theaters, didn't make much money, or found their way onto the internet. The latest of these is the Meyerowitz Stories, new and selected. This is written and directed by Baumbach. So after the latest films that left sour taste in people's mouths by Baumbach has gone back to basics of sorts, and some people have said this is his best film since maybe, the Squid and the Whale of sorts. This film here involves the children of Harold Meyerowitz, played by Dustin Hoffman, and his subsequent offspring as they deal with, family issues and whatnot here, and also as they try to move on from certain aspects of their lives. So this is set in 4 chapters. The first chapter here involves Danny Meyerowitz, played by Adam Sandler, and this is the rare time that Adam Sandler has bothered to actually give a performance. And this is not him just mucking it up, just being a ginormous man-baby. He's visiting his father, taking his daughter Eliza, played by Grace Van Patten, who's actually a film student, I think. And he's dropping her off at college. They stop by his father's house, and what do you know, they can't get a parking space. It always happens in New York City. You cannot find a parking space whatsoever. And also at the house is Harold's 4th wife, here played by Emma Thompson. And I guess Harold here was a professor of art at the local university, and now he's subsequently retired and he wants to put on our art show. And I guess one of his friends, played by Judd Hirsch of all people, is currently putting on an exhibition of his own art. Now, Danny's primary grievance was always the fact that his father didn't have much time for him. Wishes he would have been around more. The second story here involves Matthew, played by Ben Stiller. He happens to be the half-brother of Danny. Now, the Ben Stiller character here, imagine if the Brad character from Brad's Status was transplanted here and made a whole bunch of money. And that's what Matthew is basically here. He deals with the Dustin Hoffman character in his own way. And then the third story here involves all 3 children. The sibling here is Jean, played by Elizabeth Marvel. Her line is basically here is, I'm a normal person, more or less, although in one instance she explains what happened to her involving a family friend, which is sort of like, no, you may be a decent person, but this screwed up thing happened to you. So then the 4th story here involves the epilogue, in which these 3 people try to at least help their father their own way after an incident happens. Baumbach is like, well, the first 2 chapters are really strong. Let me try to wrap this thing up regardless. So here's the deal. I am not the biggest fan of Mumblecore. I'm not the biggest fan of their stories. I think their stories need a heck of a lot more work for them to be presented. I'm not the biggest fan of Duplass Brothers, but Baumbach I have a special gripe against. I liked but didn't love Squid and the Whale. I appreciate that film primarily because of Jeff Daniels, because Jeff Daniels can be the righteous self-pain in the ass that he is, because he can do it so well. Everything else since then has felt like a repeat of the same material. I also can't help feeling that Noah Baumbach should just pay $30 for therapy here. And when he hooked up with the Greg Gerwig character, it was like, oh please, make it stop. Just make it stop. I can say this is really his best film since Squid and the Whale. But here's the thing, I like this film, I don't love it. I think the material involving Adam Sandler, that is the best part here. The stuff involving Ben Stiller, that is good. There are 2 parts of the story. Noah Baumbach just said to himself, okay, let me just see what sticks here, and I'll just say, okay, that works. He's also trying at times to satirize modern art and film students, I guess, because Grace Van Patten, I think, is actually a film student, and her character makes several film students which are pornographic, I guess, and I guess, hey, look, film is art. Okay, great. And then there's the stuff actually involving modern art, because Dustin Hoffman character was an artist. And it's like you're saying, I don't know much about art. Again, it's like, you won't catch me in a modern art museum. I like natural history. And at one point during this art gallery show, Judd Hirsch introduces the Dustin Hoffman character to Sigourney Weaver, and then they play it off for a joke for the next 15-20 minutes. Or at least I think it's supposed to be a joke. Again, let me just say, as much as I like Ben Stiller, and as much as I like Adam Sandler in this film, there are just times where I just said to myself, okay, just go to therapy, people. It's like, I know Noah Baumbach may be trying to go for a Woody Allen vibe, But I just said to myself, please, just go to freaking therapy. Please. In the end, folks, the Meyerowitz Stories, new and selected, contains some really fascinating material. But there are times where I just found myself thinking, please, just let any 80s slasher villain come in and stab these people in the back so they would shut up and stop complaining about their lives. So what I'm going to say here, folks, to me, while this is showing on Netflix, I am giving this a subsequent weekend rating because I think, quite frankly, the material by Sandler and the material by Stiller is so good, or you'll forget the last act of this film. So, folks, what do you think about the Meyerowitz Stories new and selected? Did you happen to like this film? Did you happen to care for it all? Would you rank the Noah Baumbach filmography if you could? What's your favorite Ben Stiller or Adam Sandler performance? As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself with knowledge. Put everything in the comment box below. Enrich yourself with knowledge. I'll see you next time, folks. Yeah,